In YouTube, there are hundreds of storytelling channels that break down movies or popular TV shows. And they're great, they're very informative, and I really enjoyed watching them. However, there aren't many of those applied to YouTube videos, which I think it's interesting because YouTubers reach hundreds of thousands of people, they tell great stories.
How's your ass?
And I think that many of the same principles that apply to writing movies and TVs also apply in YouTube videos. I'm Oscar Estrada from whitestranding.com. So today we're gonna apply the Story Circle, which is Dan Harmon's popularized version of the story arc or the hero's journey. And we're gonna apply it to one of my favorite YouTube channels, which is Yes Theory. I think Yes Theory is amazing. What I like the most about them is that on every video they push themselves to the limit through their seek discomfort mantra, which is try to do something different every day. People try to have fun with it and see how that makes you a better person, which I think is really cool. Now let's analyze one of their videos through Dan Harmon's Story Circle. The Story Circle is a circular version of the classic 3-act structure. It's divided into different halves. First, up and down, which represent the external struggles of the protagonist, and then the left and right, which represent the internal struggles or stages that the protagonist goes throughout this circular journey. Let's take a look at one of their most recent videos, which is called 30 Days to Overcome the Biggest Challenge of My Life. So the first step in the circle is called the U. It corresponds to the protagonist, which is the person who's gonna guide us throughout the journey.
There comes a point in one's life where we feel the burning desire to challenge ourselves. For Matt this month, it's been overcoming the biggest physical challenge of his life by competing in a half Ironman with only 30 days to train for it.
Quickly, we're presented with the second point of the circle, which is the needs. Matt has two different kinds of needs in this video. First is the external need, to run the half Ironman. The second one, which is a more profound and deeper need, is the internal need. He needs to prove to himself that he's able to accomplish this difficult task.
It's amazing to have friends that just push you when you just don't want to do it, to just actually make you do what you set out to accomplish.
He is on this task to prove that he can live by this ideal, which is seek discomfort. Then we jump to point number 3. Then we have the third point of the circle, which is the goal. Now we have the protagonist, we have the needs, and now he has to go for it, accomplish these needs. This happens in the video when he signs up for the Ironman training. His initial training is really hard, it takes a toll on him that he wasn't expecting.
As he was beginning his training, Matt realized that doing this alone was making this 10 times harder.
Which takes us to the fourth point of the circle, which is the search. Once the go didn't work out as you expected, because if it worked, then we wouldn't have any story and it wouldn't be a circle and nobody would watch. So he needs to search for solutions.
17 days away from the race, Matt thought he'd ask one of our bravest and funniest friends around, Connor, if he'd be insane enough to join him on his crazy journey.
Another obstacle that is presented is at the beach scene.
He lost his goggles.
They haven't figured it out yet because they haven't been able to swim. They search for another answer, this time from Rick Roll. I think his name is Rick Roll. They search advice from Rick Roll, this super dude who has run 3 Ironmans back to back. We transition into point number 5, which is the find. This is a crucial point because it divides the two vertical halves. Matt, as we knew him in the beginning, and then he learned something very useful that will allow him to complete the Ironman.
The determining factor in how you'll do, whether you finish or not, is completely up here. It really is about the mind. The mind will shut down long before the body.
And that leads us to point number 6, which is the take. Now that he has learned this lesson, he needs to apply and do the race, which is point number 6, when they show up at the race.
Doing a half Ironman on my list of dreams and goals for the last 4 years, and I just haven't done it. And I had made up all these excuses. The fact that I'm here just blows my mind.
And it also corresponds to the pay the price situation. Nobody said that because he learned something, now it was gonna be like really easy to complete the Ironman. He's taking what he wants, he's running the Ironman race, but he needs to pay the price for the Ironman. And I'm not talking about the $70 that an Ironman costs. I'm thinking about the toll on his body.
Slowing down a lot. His paws are white.
How are your legs?
They're just totally dead. That was so long.
He needs to keep going in order to be able to fulfill his needs. And that takes us to point number 7, which is the return. It's the final stage in the Ironman, it's the running portion. He's returning home, literally, because he's coming back to the starting point. He has crossed from this unknown world, where full of obstacles, full of difficulties, back into the world that he knows.
Do not stop, no matter what. No matter if you have blisters like Connor, dying from the heat. No walking allowed.
And that leads us to point number 8, which is the point of change, where the protagonist has full control of his destiny. Now he has gone through all of this painful journey, even though we listen to him throughout the race that it's painful, that everything is just going bad for him, he still has the mental strength to go and finish the race, and that represents the change and the completion of the circle.
That's right, boys.
Matt has come back home to his friends, but he's not the same. Now he knows that he has accomplished this almost impossible task that he has put upon himself. And that's why I think Yes Theory are great storytellers. Like, every single one of their videos takes us through this journey of their characters, and this is the same concept that applies to movies and TV shows, and YouTube is no different from that. So next time that you're struggling with the story for your video, pull out that story circle. Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo. If you really like this video, please hit the like button. It's very interesting for me to analyze these different strategies and break them down and see like, aha, that's what they did. Please subscribe. Also let us know what other strategies or what other YouTubers are you interested in us breaking them down. Alright, bye.